you, Ramasamy sir. Good evening, everyone. It's a great opportunity to introduce Mr. Tirupati Arumugham. He's a veteran IT guy who studied his engineering at Annamalai University in the year 1987, and then after that he has completed his Masters in Business Administration in Madurai Kamarajar University. He started his career in Neyveli Lignite Corporation and then moved into software industry, and then he lived in Singapore for some time and then joined in IBM. After that he has started his own venture. The company name is called FP Tech, with the objective to help lot of organizations and also to the rural students. He's having around 23 plus years of experience in the IT industry alone. So we are very honored to have you, Tirupati sir. Thank you very much.
It gives me great pleasure to present before this august audience about the talent. In today's knowledge world, every one of us are talking about talent. It's because you can take examples of the companies that have been built up. Now WhatsApp, with just 55 employees, the valuation of the companies have grown into $19.5 billion. People who have built for 100 years organizations, it takes them to build around $7 billion. It takes Murugappa Group. It takes a huge amount of effort, but in today's knowledge world, with talent, we are able to create value, and knowledge and talent is becoming more important. That's why all of us struggle and try to get the best talents for our companies. And this is more pronounced in IT companies. So now we have, I can tell you an analogy. The whole world, we have around 72% is surrounded by water. But we starve for water. The potable water is becoming a big problem. The same is with talent pool. Around us, the thoughts, because I have been with IBM and I was in talent development scheme. So I joined IBM with around 40 people in a specialized technology area, SAN, and I grew the team to around 1,000 people. So it gave me a lot of perspective actually in the talent growth and management of talent in that particular niche skills. So I came out of IBM in 2010 and I was involved in my company actually doing talent development and deployment of people with various companies. So with that, actually, I was, with the help of IBM, I was able to go to various colleges and I was meeting a lot of students. And in my company also, a lot of students come to us with their, this thing actually. So once they come in, I ask them, what you are looking for? I go to the colleges, I ask them, what you want? What you are looking for? So we want job. That is the only answer that we get from any fresher. Okay, my dear friend, so you want a job? So what you can do? I can do anything, sir. No problem. Because he wants to emphasize on flexibility. So that is why he's saying, I'm ready to. Okay, my friend, this computer, there is a problem. Could you please solve the problem? Sir, I do not know about that. So then what you will do for us? You want a job, but you are not able to do any job. That is the situation actually. So now a computer science student comes to us. BE computer science with 85%, very good sign. So have you used a computer in your lab? Yes. So what is the IP address configured on your system? So that much I do not know. So the basic thing also they are not aware of. It is spread across with all the industries and domains. You take a BCom and MCom graduate, he comes to you for an accountant. So I wanted to take an accountant. So I called him, okay, MCom, 80%. Okay, my dear friend, so can you please tell me what is the current income tax rate? Sir, I'm not aware of that. So there is a major misconnect or disconnect between what is that we are looking for in the industry and what is available in the colleges. That is the, but we are discussing this in several forums. This has been discussed in several forums for several years, and we are finding it difficult to get talent pool is the major concern. Companies like CTS or TCS or Infosys, they know, okay, there is no point in going on telling this. So hire bulk amount of people, put them into the training engines, train them for the requirements, and deploy them. That's what we are doing currently. So now, so what are the problems? This is what is the major concern. Everybody is, all the students are saying, I'm in need of job, I'm in need of job. So there are hundreds of thousands of students are looking for job. At the same time, corporates are complaining, we are not getting the right talent pool, we are not getting the skilled manpower. That is why we are not able to expand. So this is the major disconnect between the industry and the institutions. So what is that actually, why this situation is still there, and even in spite of so much efforts, why it is not going away? So when I talk to the candidates and be computer science students, I went them and I asked them, so what is that you know to get a job with CTS or to get a job with a particular IT company? So what do you know? Please tell me what are all the technologies available. Only I could hear from 95% of the candidates is they know that there is a Java, there is a .NET, there is a networking. Apart from this, they are not aware of what is available in the industry. Okay, leave alone the students. I asked the professors, do you know that there is a SAN administration is there? There is a WebSphere administration is there. There is a Siebel administration is there. There is a SAP. These are all several technologies that are there, which if your students are getting prepared, there is a huge possibility of them getting employed. So they are not aware of the roles. They are not connected to the industry, and the industry is, so this is the major problem that I have foreseen actually with the candidates. The second, this thing actually is, they are not focused in building the skills. The major, they actually say, because they are not aware of the roles, what they do is they come out of the colleges, they ask their friends, so say I've joined testing them, so I got a job. So another 100 guys go and join the testing, but only 10 of them get job, 90 of them didn't get job. They roam around. Again after 6 months, another guy is saying, oh, development, Java development, there is a, so they go and join that one. Again they continuously go on joining one by one, and by 1 year, 1.5 years, they might have done multiple things, but they are not focused. They are not understanding why I am not getting a job. So the focus is not there. So that is the major problem with the students. Student fraternity is not aware of what is required and how to focus and how do I achieve that particular this thing to get a job. So these are all the major problems that I found that students are facing, and they are having a low morale because I roam around and I'm not getting a job. If you take the current situation in the Tamil Nadu, there are around 500 plus engineering colleges are there, and out of which top 50 colleges, all the big companies go do a campus placement. They take the bulk candidates and they come out. So all the other 450 colleges do not have that kind of opportunity, students. But there are few good candidates, around 20% of the cream candidates study there also. But then when I asked actually, when I was in IBM, why you guys are not going to the small colleges actually, there are remote colleges, they are also studying engineering. So they called me and told, okay, please, you go ahead and take some persons. So I took, so 3 of us, we traveled to Nagarkoil, we went to a college, so we gave a bill for 5 lakhs rupees traveling cost, we got 3 people. So definitely the company will laugh at us. You are spending so much amount of money and you are getting only few people, this is not a viable solution for us. That is the reason the companies go and take bulk candidates from the premium institutions and we finish there. Okay. These are all these 450 colleges are starved of getting any opportunities and they are not aware of what they need to do. So now coming to the corporate side, what is the problems that we face actually in terms of hiring the people? Next. So when we want to hire the freshers category, the major problem that we face actually is too much amount of people come to us. You announce an off campus, I think you guys will be aware of, CTS announces an off campus or TCS announces an off campus, 15,000 people. They totally block the road. There are see, for a small company like me, I just say I want Java developer, there will be 100 people will be standing outside. Sir, I have studied Java, I know Java. Okay, my dear friend, come inside. Please write this small logic. So 95% of the people has to be rejected, removed. But for us, there is a huge amount of effort, time and money goes into that for elimination of this 95% of this particular resource pool. So in off-campus drive also, to take around 300 or 500 people, we have to remove that first 13,000 people from this thing by conducting some aptitude test or other paper pen test. Then again we go for group discussions, then again go for final interview, and it involves a huge amount of effort and as well as scrutinizing and getting the right people. So that is the major problem that we all are facing. And the next major problem actually is attrition. Because we take in bulk and we do not ask them for options, and we do not have the time to ask them for options. So just, okay, this 100 people, put it into testing. These 50 people, put it into code development. But few of the guys will say, sir, I don't like code development. You are putting into me this thing. So they leave. So there is a attrition problem that is affecting us. And also, this particular freshers model actually, whatever the big companies actually, they put in a huge amount of cost. Actually, according to the NASSCOM surveys, I think it's close to around $1 billion to $2 billion is being spent only on training and upskilling these people to bringing up to our requirements. And they also need to be held in bench because looking for projects. So huge amount of training cost, huge amount of holding cost during the training, and huge amount of bench cost. So these are all actually plaguing us, or rather affecting us actually in our profitability. We can find a solution to these things. I think it will be a great win for the big companies. And I already discussed about the very low conversion ratio. That means for just taking 3% of the people, we have to do huge amount of efforts. Now when it comes to the lateral hiring, the major problem that we face actually is, I give in my IBM, okay, I'm looking for a TSM specialist. My technical team gives to the HR. So they immediately publish it to the HR partners, and it goes to all the vendors. Each vendor goes and puts the particular keyword into the tool. It spits out 100 or 200 CVs. So all aggregated. So this is 1000 CVs ready for you. So we put our technical teams, and we say, oh, go into Saturdays, Sundays, weekend drives. Please conduct. Make sure that, see, these guys sit down and they start calling the people. So I ask them, so what is that? Do you know TSM? Do you know Siebel? So we are asking for the specialists. No sir, I have used once in my Windows, this thing, last 1 year back. So 95% of the CVs actually we find is, they are irrelevant. Do you guys agree with me? See, it's big. So we find actually is, see, they might have either copied. See, actually the basic idea of any freshers or otherwise even in a junior level, this thing is, they copy the CVs and they make the CV as attractive as possible because they want to get a call. That is the only objective for them. Okay, they put everything in the world. And they say, okay, sir, I know this. So once you call him and ask him, sir, I know I have studied only once, but if you give me opportunity, I will learn. That is the status as of now. So there is a huge amount of effort that goes in from our technical team and HR. Actually, a huge amount of pressure is there actually in scrutinizing and getting these people. So that is one of the, so there is also a very low conversion ratio and huge amount of pressure that we have actually in these things. If we can find a solution to these problems, I think that will be a major win for us actually as a corporate as well as for the student fraternity. So we are trying to come up with, I have actually, because of my involvement in all these areas, I try to come up with some kind of solutions which I would like to share. But before that, I would like to ask upon you guys, actually, if you have some other alternative solutions or any other things that you can think of, let's go ahead and discuss that. And I'll also give my solutions that what I have found, and I would like to get your feedback on that particular this thing. So is there any questions that you guys have, or otherwise shall I proceed with the Sukmar? So once you are finished, okay, great. So my solution actually is, what we have come up with actually is a tool where it is a web-based portal. Okay, so where we are asking the students to register in our particular portal. So, and I'm calling that portal as it's Talent Exchange, like National Stock Exchange for stocks and Commodity Exchange for commodity. I want to call this as a Talent Exchange, where talents can be exchanged between the hiring companies and the students can enroll, or otherwise experienced candidates can also enroll. So the major this thing that we wanted to bring in, actually the change that we wanted to bring in actually is to address all these problems is, one, in the freshers community, when we say we enroll the candidates, once we enroll the candidates based on their qualifications, we showcase them various kinds of job roles that is available to them in the industry. So if you take in terms of IT, I can show them, okay, software developer, you have a .NET, you have a PHP, you have a Java, you have Oracle apps, you can take up various kinds of roles. So once a candidate chooses that particular role, so I go ahead and add, these are all the recommended technical value added programs that you need to do to get that particular role. So I list out all these things. Now if you take, for example, software developer Java, so what should I do is, okay, you need to know C++, you need to know core Java, you need to know advanced Java, then you need to know Hibernate, Spring, Strut, then you need to know versioning systems, you need to know MySQL and database connectivity. So if you know all these things, your probability of getting an employment for a Java developer is very high. So I give all the syllabuses and I tell them, okay, these are all the things that you need to learn, and if you are focusing on these things, you are likely to get this particular role. We can go ahead and define as many number of roles as we want, because this platform has been designed and structured in such a way that we can define all the roles. Now you take an accountant, I will just say, okay, cost accountant, what do you want to do? So I call an SME in the cost accountant and I can just ask him to define the role, what is that required for that particular role, and what are the value added programs that you need to do, and how to evaluate him. In the example of software developer Java, so what I do is I not only recommend the things, I also put evaluation systems. So you take a test in core Java, you take a test in advanced Java. Once you take a test, so the major problem that we are facing actually in the students fraternity actually in terms of this thing is, they go and attend interviews. If you ask, some of the guys will say, I have attended 50 interviews, I have attended 40 interviews, then why you are not getting selected? Sir, nobody is, I answered all the questions, sir, but nobody is selecting me. Because we don't tell at the face of the candidate, you are not ready. We just say, okay, we will let you know. We'll get back. We tell in a poly. Our HR will connect with you, or otherwise in a polished way we will say. So that guy thinks, what he thinks actually is, in my this thing also they say, sir, 10 questions he asked, I answered 9 questions. Then why he is not selecting me? Because we do not know whether it is all the 9 you answered is correct or wrong. Because we don't tell at the face of the candidate. So he is not aware of what is his state itself. But in these evaluation systems, he takes up a core Java examinations. In this there are 12 chapters are there. In this 12 chapter, your performance is like this. So at least he understands, okay, I am not good or I am good. He knows where he stands. So now our backend algorithm, what it happens is, it takes up 10th, 12th degree mark sheets, and along with these value added programs, whatever he has done, along with soft skills and aptitude test, we arrive at an overall score. Now for this particular role, I will have around let us assume that I have 2000 candidates, those people who are aspiring for this particular role, software developer Java, and I rank them in 1 to 2000. Now this database is there readily available for now you as a corporate. Now you select, let me call this first 100 candidates, let me interview them. When you talk to them, definitely it makes sense between what you are doing earlier and what you are doing now. So, and once you started doing this and we started hiring the talent pool from this particular things, the peer pressure will automatically start playing. Hey, that guy has done this evaluation, he has got a job, he knows, okay, so I also need to do. If I do this, if I learn my own, I improve my skills, I improve my rank, I stand a chance to win a job. Automatically we will be pushing the student fraternity towards that employability quotient. So their employability quotient will automatically start increasing. So that is one area that we are trying to come up with all the things that we have put in already, the platforms, and we are trying to see here. Actually I need to rope in a lot of SMEs. Like CBL administrator means I need to go to a SME of a CBL, and I tell, so what is that you need to do to become a CBL administrator? Please define that. Here one more thing we can also showcase actually is, over a period of time actually is, now there are 500 positions are there are 50,000 people are aspiring towards Java developer, but there is only 50 positions or there is 10 positions are there to SAN administration, but there are only 20 candidates are fighting for that. So we can clearly showcase and we can clearly say that, okay, that queue is very small. If you go there, your possibility of entering there is very high. If we can show, as of now it is not visible to the candidates. Everybody goes in herd mentality, they go and do testing, or otherwise they go and do Java development. These are the only two things they know. And if you go to any training institute, they teach core Java, advanced Java, and some places they teach Hibernate frameworks, but nobody teaches versioning system. If you take in Unix administration and Windows administration, everybody teaches Windows, but nobody teaches ITIL, ticketing system. So that is very important for us in the corporate. If you do not get a guy who understands versioning system, you cannot mingle within the team and you cannot do a project. That is key to the particular requirement. So these are all the things that we can bring in discipline, and we can give that push for what we are looking for. Automatically we will be pushing the student fraternity to do what we want, and we will get quality pool over a period of time. So we start pushing it and we start taking it. In terms of lateral hiring, once the people walk in, okay, please take this particular as evaluation, just 1 hour evaluation on a particular tool. If you cross this particular percentage, then you can meet our technical team. They will do the interview and they will clear you whether you are in or you are not. So it reduces our major problem of pressure actually. That is also possible using the evaluation systems. And another one more benefit that we can do is we can put in L1, L2, L3 kind of evaluations for various kinds of roles, and we would like to present it for various skill levels. Now in our organizations we wanted to upgrade their skills, or otherwise give promotions. As of now, most of the times we do it on a subjective basis. Okay, so this guy is doing well, okay, let's put him in L2 level. Okay, now after 1 year is over, let him put him in L2. So we can do it in a scientific way. We just say, okay, take this test, if you pass and you clear this particular these things, you can go for L3 level. But some of the people were asking me, already Prometric is there, what you are trying to do with this particular evaluation systems? What is that is different from Prometric? Prometric is definitely good. It is coming from big giants and companies or the owners of these things. But the major drawback is it's very expensive. You need to pay at least 150 to 200 US dollars. And second, this thing actually I was seeing actually is, in my experience is, you have dumps. People go, mug up the dumps and clear the examinations. Without knowing NetApp itself, it becomes a, it doesn't make sense actually. No? So you just have 140 questions, you can mug up and you can clear the examinations. It doesn't make sense. So if we are able to put a very stringent evaluation systems and we can clearly find out what is the level of the people, I think it makes over a period of time we will be able to build a very good database of skills, and we will be able to provide that to the corporates, which will be much more useful. That's the basic idea of making this particular talent exchange, which we are trying to build, and we are able to come up with particular these solutions.
So how many, that's all that we have.
Yeah, no, you can go ahead with the questions. I think I would like more interactive because
How many companies and colleges are around?
as of now, see that is what a major problem that I am facing actually. So I went, we have finished this beta testing actually in month of March or April. So we went to the few colleges which I know. So they were saying, sir, if you come up with big companies, I think our candidates will be more interested. So you come up with CTS, then all colleges will start. So I come to CTS. CTS says, so how many candidates you have in your database? Then I think we will. So it is kind of a chicken and egg this thing story, So we need to go for a kind of testing methodology, and we need to put some kind of this thing. So now I would not say that okay today leave all the things and change this. Okay, so let us go by like what you are saying is a tiny change. Okay, so just take 1% of the hiring through this methodology and see how things are working for us. Is it really doing good favor to us? How can we do this? And this can be used for, actually I have been told about a lot of competition products as well actually. That means metal.com or otherwise your Hacker Street and all this. And all these things, actually they are all more of a coding evaluation platforms. But here we are not talking about only coding actually. We are talking about IT as a whole, infrastructure as well as all kind of tools and specializations. We can do evaluations because it's only the SMEs are going to build that particular evaluation systems, putting into the testing engines, and this can also be used for non-IT space. So if you take a civil engineer, you take a chemical engineer, you just go and ask any chemical engineer, so what are the jobs that is available to you? So process engineer, Dyson Chemicals, process engineer, oil and gas natural, process engineer for cement industry. So a guy walks into the cement industry and says, sir, I am a chemical engineer. Okay, very good, my dear friend. What is Portland cement? So,
Your statistics are attracting a lot of attention on the Twitter.
great.
I just posted some of your statistics. Everybody is like, who is saying all this?
So what is that he's saying?
I just posted saying 450 out of 500 colleges have a huge opportunity gap because only the top 50. And you answered, right? People don't know what computer science graduate doesn't know IT others.
Correct.
Sort of.
No, it is. See, just 5% of the people know that. I am saying 95% of the people do not know. We can just take a test. We can clearly ask them actually, They are not even able to say, you tell the IP address, okay, he tells the IP address, what is the class? Because the next question definitely you will not be able to answer that. But as he studied or not, definitely they must have studied, but they have studied with the motto is pass the examination, that's all. The motto of the studying engineering this thing is they have to pass the examinations. That is how they have been.
That's what they have been taught from LKG already.
Correct. So that is what actually is. So suddenly you cannot change and you cannot question also. See, we need to accept what is the fact and we need to showcase the way actually out. We can keep on discussing. There is a gap between the industry expectations and there is a gap between the educational product output availability. I have been hearing it. I have attended a lot of ICT Academy forums. I have attended a lot of other forums also. We keep discussing. But we wanted to showcase. There are a lot of trainings are also going on actually. There are a lot of small trainings. I think Infosys is doing some training. CTS is doing some trainings in the College Connect and all these things. There are a lot of programs that are going on. But scalability. See, now if you take actually a career counseling guy, one guy can counsel for 200 people. Let us assume that he can. But how many areas that he can do? How much versatility he can go up? How much things that he can go and explain to various candidates? How he can test him and say that, okay, you are in this position, if you need to go up. See, now in our ranking systems, we will be able to clearly identify and grade the people. So we will be able to clearly tell, okay, you are in 500th rank, in the total 5,000 rank or 10,000 rank. So if you do these things again and again, then you improve upon the rank. Automatically the scores gets improved. You go up in the rank. The companies are looking for you. They are dire need of people. Only thing is we are not getting the right people. That is what is our major concern. If we are able to, if the candidates are able to showcase their skill level and knowledge, I think then 100% there is a huge amount of opportunities there for them. I am open to questions. You guys can go ahead and ask for the.
I have, on the other hand, from your experience, how far are the companies able to forecast their demand? In the sense that a lot of instances we even see ourselves. So what happens is, let's say this year people will let go the companies let go people who are let's say working on a particular technology just because they don't have the demand. Probably in the very next year they might, let's say, get few projects on the technology. They'll be looking for the same people from the same technology, or let's say, or even say freshers. How far are companies able to forecast the demand for a particular technology or all the technologies on the whole?
No, here actually see, forecasting is required only when you wanted to take the model that what you are following now. You wanted to take in 10,000s, you wanted to train them in various domains, then you wanted them to sit in a particular corner and wait for the project. But here it is JIT model, just in time. If you are going to say that I am in need of this particular professionals, whoever is their top ranked people, you are going to hire them. Once they are hired, they are going to go out of the ranking systems, and the next set of people are going to move up in the ladder, and they are readily available for you. And your number of open positions will be always available in the system. It will be displaying that, okay, these are all the number of open positions. Your open positions will increase, number of candidates aspiring also will increase, and try to take that. So here in our model, actually in the platform model, you are going to take when you need, and you are going to take job role ready person who is almost ready for that particular. Only thing what we need to do is we can reduce our training from 3 months or 4 months to 3 weeks to 4 weeks. Only just we need to do the process training. Okay, once he comes in, how you have to interact with the customer, what is the type, how the job is going to come to you, what are all the do's and don'ts of your customer specific requirements. So, that's why I come to you guys actually. It's a knowledge community. So let's take it forward, and you guys can go and spread the message. See, the major problem is there is a resistance actually. That means resistance will be there actually always to change. Okay, so the big engine is there for them actually, and it is already doing the job for them. So they think, okay, so will this be able to do? So we need to do a trial runs, pilot runs, and we need to prove them that yes, this concept works, and if we are able to put this in place over a period of time, this particular thing is. There are a lot of things actually. I do not know whether I can talk all these things in the on record. See, a lot of nexus between HR and the colleges, and there is all these things. Everything NASSCOM report is also there. That it shows that there is a huge amount of nexus between the various educational institutions and the. Correct. It is quite obvious actually. So the people are actually, there is a huge nexus there. So if you take 5 years ago, if you want to register a company, what do you do? MCA, Ministry of Company Affairs. So I registered the company 3 years ago. I never met anybody. Everything is online. I do not know where the guy is sitting also, approving officers. I have not paid even 1 rupee. Things are changing. Actually, it is changed. It has changed. Definitely, I saw that it is really astonishing change in the government. Everything is actually, see, you upload everything, automatically you will get a certificate, registration certificate within 1 week's time frame. Think of this actually around 7 years back or 10 years back. To get one registration certificate, how much amount of money we need to spend? So now today we are talking about, okay, this is there, already exists. We know that. We can change this. If we bring all online, and there is no need for you to talk to anybody actually. It is talent pool is available. Go there, take them. You find out whether it is really suitable for you. It is first 100 ranks. You call them and you are happy with those guys. Actually, your attitude and as well as the skill level, go ahead and hire them. So all these things can be broken over a period of time. Only thing is we need to take it in a positive way and we need to push it forward.
And from the student side, they will be able to see on what all technologies the demand is there, right?
Correct. So see now when we are posting and when we are positioning ourselves, now you see you are going to position and you are going to say that these many number of roles are available to you. Okay. So now let us assume that we are going with the pilot run. So now let us assume that okay, we are going with CTS. CTS is saying I am going to hire 100 Java developers using this particular platform. But my dear friends, you need to clear all these 3 or 5 tests and your score should be minimum of this. If you are able to prove me that, then I will call you for interview. So we just announce. So everybody who is required, they will go and compete themselves. They come up in the ladder. So we will call the first 200 people, just interview them and find out, is it really working for us? Is it really helping us to get the best people from the industry, from the market?
Sir, again, most of my discussion will be based on the basic education system, which comes from my physics professor, Professor Ananthan, the founder of Physics Society. See, the corporates do not understand one thing. They think that by going to premier institutes like Anna University, that is, when I say Anna University, I mean College of Engineering, Guindy, MIT. In fact, I am from MIT. I shouldn't be talking about MIT, but I have to tell the truth. Okay, all these premier institutions, they think that if I go to that place, I will get the best people for my company. In fact, I would say the otherwise. See, those who score 200 out of 200 in all 3 subjects, maths, physics and chemistry, or almost 198 out of 200 and all, they will get into such premier institutes. Those guys who are scoring 200 out of 200 are nothing but an excellent recording machine. Okay.
Correct.
Recorded, if I give the same paper, question paper to a computer and then ask them to write the 12th standard exam, the computer will do an excellent job and it will score same 200 out of 200. Okay, so those guys are excellent recording machine. They do not think logically, and they are not asked to think. No, I'm not saying that the guys are not, good. The guys are good, but they are not, made to realize the potential. They are asked to memorize and then score. And those guys score, they get into such institutes, and such institutes, after getting there, it's all autonomous. How many of you are from CEG or MIT here?
She is from AC Tech.
AC Tech, very good. See, in these institutes, it's all autonomous. Whatever they teach in the classroom, if I have notebook, not even a book, whatever is there in the notebook, that alone will be asked in and it is a semester exam. 15 marks, 30 marks, 10 marks, and then 50 marks. So you clear the test, you will score. It is very difficult to fail in that exam. No, even otherwise, if people fail, that is because, see, there is one reason why people fail in such exams. After 12th, they become tired because they had to mug up, record, and then reproduce, vomit in the exam, and then after that, they become tired. When they get into such institutes, they do not study even a bit. Okay, you have to work very hard to fail in that exam. Okay, so people fail, and finally, the corporates, including Infosys, Cognizant, every big company thinks that the brightest students are there in such institutes, and they go there and then look for the day 1 slot, and then hire. I still remember when I was part of Cognizant for some time, somebody said, this guy has got 10 arrears, should we hire him? No, see, if you don't hire him, we'll fall short of the number. So let us have this guy. Okay, some HR guys said, in fact, I would say the guy who has failed will be much better than the guy who has scored distinction, because it is easy to get distinction in such a system actually, I'm very sorry to say this, whoever is looking at this, watching this, I can challenge them that, if you bring 4 people from these colleges, CEG, AC Tech, MIT, or what is the other one? SAP, and then compete with the other guys who are in the university based system. Previously it was Madras University. The guys who are from Madras University, previously Madras University, now I think it's also Anna University, they will be knowing much better because they need to read the entire syllabus, right? Here they need to read only, see, I still remember during my BTech days, one guy, went to the professor and said, sir, you asked a different problem this time in the exam, it is out of syllabus. He said, no, I just changed the number. He said, no, you have changed the number, that is out of syllabus. So for the same question, he changed the number, in the problem, okay? So that is so he gave full marks. So what, okay, so first of all, the corporates should not think that the best talent is in the best institutes. The best institutes, they have the people who are from schools or colleges, where they have scored 200 out of 200 by recording or by hearting, right? So this kind of the online system or everything, even for the entrance test, I believe everybody has a dump.
Correct.
Okay, everybody has a dump. And in fact, this is one reason why I was trying to be part of the education group in my company. And again, there also we have dump. Everywhere, everywhere we have dumps. Okay. In fact, if somebody can memorize all the dumps, that will be really good. In fact, I was suggesting somebody, instead of having one answer, even in multiple choice, instead of having one answer, we should have more than one answer as correct. That is very difficult to memorize, right? So this kind of things, we need to change the pattern. We need to, first of all, change the selection process. We need to change the pattern in which we think that, these people are going to do good things. So it doesn't come from, suddenly, you cannot change the system because we are starting from college onwards. You cannot start from college. You need to start from school. Start from school, change the college. If not, change your organization behavior. Say that, I don't want anybody from these institutes. I want somebody who can clear my exam, irrespective of the college. Some good guy can be in some college, XYZ college, he didn't get it because he couldn't memorize it.
No, my
exactly.
Yeah.
So
my suggestion
how do we propagate this?
Let us not say that I do not want, I do why you want and all. Whoever is merit, who is coming up in the ladder actually in these things, we'll just select them, that's all. So you need to showcase your talent and skill to come up to the particular level. That is what is the main thing. Yeah, please.
For Java programming, you should do this program, that
Correct.
Those programs are still done by some examination body, right? Prometric or whoever.
Correct.
No, in our thing, we do the exams, we do the evaluations.
For every skill that is, you have an exam.
We will build it.
You have not yet built it.
I have built for around 5. So I will actually see, there is a lean startup.
That's what threw me off. Because
No, it is
if you are able to test for every skill, then
no, it is
be
see,
a
when,
hot commodity only.
correct. No, we will see. Now I have to prove my model. The lean startup, I have to just say that okay, this model works, and where is the huge demand is there. We build that particular this thing, and then we'll keep adding to that particular skill area.
Sorry. How do you How do you avoid the dump problem? Even your tests can be cracked.
No, it
Using
can
the
be
same
cracked. So
method.
that is what we can do actually is, see, if a guy, if you are going to put only 100 questions or 140 questions, see, the first major problem with the dump actually is, because why you have to pass that compulsorily is, because you are paying $200, it's very expensive for you. And one more thing is, certification is coming from a big organization, which all of us are insisting. So IBM means I have to tell my customer, you are certified from EMC, then only I am going to pay. So there is a ultimate motto actually for that. Here actually it is only a skill based, and I'm just going to charge $600, 600 rupees per test. So it is a very simple and a very low cost test. You need not do that almost. And moreover, above that, we will actually put in huge number of questions. We will increase the questions database, and as he was telling, we will not put one option is correct. We will put multiple options are correct. It is, and one option is correct also, multiple options is correct also, everything will be only checkbox. There will not be any radio buttons. So you need to find out whether it is one answer is correct or two answer is correct. And if you mark two answers, it is only one answer is correct, then you are negative. You will go into a negative marking systems. So you will automatically, see now, pinky, inky, pinky, ponky and all these things you play and you just pick all A, your my score will be actually negative 75%. So it is not going to work out for you. So you cannot do that actually in the system. This system is, evaluation is, see, I have done this for my own these things. I have tried to recruit Java developers and all using our systems. Nobody has scored above 50%, 40%, 50% is a very high score for me actually. So far I have tested. We can put in a tough evaluation systems and we can get it certified by our SMEs. Like, oh yeah, this system works and it really gives me a solution that is what I am looking for. And we can keep building actually. And so once I am able to prove the concept, then I can start inviting SMEs. We can do it for any technology. Okay, so it's a mechanical engineering, civil engineering, chemical engineering, or even accounts. Any kind of domain we can start doing it. It's only basically a guy has to put in his qualifications, he has to choose a role, he needs to do certain evaluations. For that role he will be ranked. And you just call the best top ranking candidates and you start hiring. And you pay for only the records that you are downloading from us and start using the database. That's the solution that we have put in actually in a place.
Okay, I have just a few things to share. I feel that if corporates can have engagement with colleges, then they can cut down their training costs and make sure the supply that they get from colleges is really good and matched with their demand. That is one thing which companies like TCS have already done. I've seen in my college, I'm from Shastra University, they engage with Shastra and make sure the last semester is done with them. And Infosys also takes students from Shastra and make students work in their company. So I think that is a very good thing by IT companies which have already started doing. And one more thing is this kind of what you're saying requires openness from corporates to reveal their numbers. Most of the times what happens is the corporates or the people who come for interviewing, they don't reveal the numbers of how much they're hiring, whom they're looking for, and you don't even know why someone selected them and not me. So the decision making is highly personalized and dynamic, and revealing a lot of information is maybe it's good. It's difficult and requires openness from people in corporate. So that is a huge challenge that I foresee. Next thing is this is more of a paper based or student examination based. And as many said that students are really good in cracking exams, however tough it is. Even for example, say CAT, even if you keep practicing it over a period of time, you become so good that you crack the exam 4th or 5th time. So how does in certain jobs more than technical skills, soft skills are important. So how does this help to face the challenge of corporates to recruit people who are skilled not just technically but other soft skills as well?
In our evaluation systems, yeah. What we can do, see, what it is only the definition part actually. So when I'm calling an SME and he is going to define for a marketing executive or a pre-sales executive, technical pre-sales. So I am going to say that okay, so technically I need to, in your overall algorithms, we are going to define the algorithm. Okay, the algorithm is going to be actually it's flexible. When you are going to say it's a pre-sales technical support, if your role is saying that actually, so then I can very well clearly say that okay, so in technical I give only 40% weightage, soft skills I give 40% weightage, and 20% weightage for his educational qualifications. Or you can say 30% for educational qualifications and 30% for his technical and 40% for his things. And in certain places we can say that okay, this is in a kind of a hardcore development or otherwise a technical job, I will increase the technical capability and I will decrease the soft skills and aptitude. So it is when I am defining the role, it is expert who is going to define the role. See, whatever it is in your mind, see, this is not going to be a decision making tool. This is only an enabling tool. Okay, so it is an enablement actually wherein, see, the major this thing actually advantage for us is 15,000 people come to your off campus, you wanted to eliminate 13,500, you wanted to do with 1,500 people. Is that correct? So if I am able to eliminate that 13,500 and I am able to give you the 1,500 people, then it is, your job becomes much more easier actually in terms of hiring. Is there any other questions?
One question. There's recently in the news and a lot of articles on students not opting for engineering courses. And colleges had to promote and to try and pay them to try and study in engineering colleges. So a lot of dilution there, not like how it used to be. So many or most of the students opting for engineering. So how do you handle that trend? Would that affect the talent pool in the forthcoming years for companies?
Availability, yes, because see, the major frustration, it is a question of frustration from the candidates actually, because see, they are not getting jobs, they do not know where to go, they roam around, and the frustration is passing back actually, that it is being passed back to the next level. So if I am not getting a job, I tell my brother, you come here, you also going to roam like me. So the pressure is being passed on by the first community to the next this thing. So if we are able, we need to, as a community, as a corporate and student fraternity put together as a community, we need to remove that particular thing. As a society, we need to address that particular problem. So the major problem we are facing actually is unawareness of the requirements. That is the major problem. So if we are able to see, once you know that these are all the things I need to do, it is today the major problem for the candidates is information overload. If you go to YouTube, you type Java, there will be 100,000 courses will be there. So which one he has to study, what he needs to do, where I stand, he is not able to ascertain himself. So that is the major problem that they are facing. So he does not know that why I am not getting a job. So if he is able to position himself, if he is able to clearly articulate himself, I think then it's going to be an easy thing for us. So from both corporate side as well as from the student side, if we can address these problems, we will be able to be in a much better situation. If we can implement it effectively, I think we will be able to reduce our training cost and our holding cost, and all these things will go down very drastically downwards. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. I request Sukumar to give a small memento to Tirupati. It was indeed a very detailed session. Thank you.